This is something that no man in the world can accept that. If you asking me, like, why I'm not having sex with her, then you put it out there, I have to explain it.
Those kind of words coming from your spouse.
This just in, ladies and gentlemen, Big Ed has a new girl. She's low-key kind of a baddie. She's way hotter than Liz, but is she in it for the fame, for the fortune, or does she actually like no neck Ed? Find out in today's video.
Dudes, welcome back to the #1 YouTube channel in the entire world. Today's a very special video because we are going to be talking about Danielle from The Single Life. Danielle is a 47-year-old woman and she is from Sandusky, Ohio, a travel destination for everyone. Everyone's always dreamed of living in Sandusky, Ohio. Fun fact, 7 years ago, Danielle entered an online relationship. We all know how those turn out with Muhammad, and he was from Tunisia. Also, my friend Ziad's from Tunisia, but Rebecca's still mad at me because I made up a joke that she pegged him or whatever, and now she won't let me see my friend, and she wouldn't let him be my Yourwetsock intern, but it's fine because I actually got another Yourwetsock intern, and it happens to be a hot girl. So, trade up. And on the 90 Day Fiancé tell-all, Muhammad said that Danielle has a bad smell in her pants, which is something very inappropriate to say about a lady, or at least that's what everybody's saying.
Right now, I know you guys are like, wow, Nick, you sound awful. I know I lost my voice screaming at a football match yesterday. I keep calling it soccer. My friends get mad at me. We went to the football match yesterday. It was Colombia versus Argentina, and I lost my voice because I kept screaming Chupapi Muñano at Messi, and he didn't hear me one time, so I don't know why I did that. Let me tell you guys about the sponsor of today's video, Raid Shadow Legends. Easily my favorite mobile game. It's not even close. I'm really excited to be working with them because I play this game religiously. Let me show you guys my champion. So first off, we got my Orc girl that looks really similar to Gamora, and then we got my Barbarian girl who has swaggy armor on. Low key, much like Big Ed, I'm kind of a horn dog, so I like to level up all the female champions because there are a lot of baddies in this game. Honestly, my favorite part of the game is upgrading the armor of my champions and then also summoning new champions in the tavern. When I summon new champions in the tavern, it brings me back to that anticipation you feel when you open up like Pokemon cards or like you just don't know what champion you're gonna get. Also in this game, there's PvP arena battles which get really intense, and you have an offensive squad and a defensive squad, so you really have to dive into your inner tactics and see which champion combinations work the best. Let me tell you dirty Yourwetsocks about the Bannerlords faction. Okay, you guys, so the Bannerlords are basically medieval knights with massive kingdom in West Teleria. They're arrogant and warlike, much like me, and believe themselves to be on the side of good, but the orcs, ogrins, skinwalkers, and lizardmen would disagree. The lands of the Bannerlords were taken from the non-humans by force and kept throughout the centuries of persecution with the help of the Sacred Order. Now, with the Bannerlords weakened by wars of their king, the time may be at hand for these races to right the ancient wrong, by whatever means necessary. Let me show you guys a couple of my favorite Bannerlord champions. These are some of my favorite Bannerlord champions. My favorite is the Black Knight because I think his armor is really cool. They've got a lot of brand new champions coming out, and every single one of them looks absolutely badass. You guys, there's also a new rotation of the Doom Tower, which I definitely want to finish this month, so I'm going to be trying to summon as many of these new champions as possible. If you guys want to get a huge start in Raid Shadow Legends, all you have to do is click the link in the description box of this video, and you'll get a free epic hero named Kronaru, who's a baddie with dual swords, 200k silver, 1 EXP boost, 1 energy refill, and 1 ancient shard, so that you guys can summon an awesome hero as soon as you download the game. All of this treasure will be waiting for you right here, my dudes. The rewards I mentioned will only be available for 30 days for new players, so make sure you guys hop on this right now. This is a great opportunity to get ahead in the game. Big shout out to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to reviewing Danielle and her relationship drama. And I'm gonna go back to drinking warm tea and trying to not sound like I'm gargling nails. Big announcement, Big Ed used Liz for clout, threw her away, and now he's got a new girl. No, it's not Amberlynn Reed. But yo, when that OnlyFans comes out, I'm gonna review it because she's so fire. Big Ed recently posted his new girl on Instagram, and I'll be honest, this girl's hot. Rate her out of 10 in the comments below. My type is chokers, tattoos, and daddy issues, so I think Ed got himself a baddie. I'm his dating coach, so I don't really need to advertise. My word speaks for itself. In all seriousness, I would love to know how much this girl is getting paid. I also wonder how Liz feels about the situation. My voice sounds so bad right now, but in my last video, I played the scandalous voice recording that was released of Ed emotionally and verbally abusing Liz. Let's dive into that recording because I think it's important to highlight some key points in case other girls find themselves in similar situations with toxic dudes like Ed.
I'll always love you, but I can't be with you.
Are you done? Because I've been sitting around the corner from your house from the second I clocked out.
I don't give a fuck, Liz. You're fucked up.
How am I fucked up? Are you going to listen to me, or are you going to take over this whole...
Fuck you, dude. You're fucked up.
Stop speaking to me like this, Ed. Stop.
For you to even offer to give a coworker a ride home to El Cajon, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Stop!
So Liz asked Big Ed if it would be okay to give a male coworker a ride home. Ed verbally agreed and even said that Liz was a nice person for doing that. Then later proceeded to call her up for doing the very action he himself agreed was a good idea. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a prime example of how Ed gaslights girls.
Stop belittling me. I don't deserve this. Stop. Stop.
You are fucked up in the head.
I called you and asked you, and you
I
said,
don't give a
then why did you say
fuck
yes?
you.
Why did you say okay?
Fuck you. Fuck you. You are fucked up in the head.
It's very manipulative to make Liz feel like she is a trash girlfriend for doing something you approved of, Ed. Remember, people, Ed is the kind of dude that goes to Las Vegas to send SWs 2 days after his relationship with someone he supposedly loves ends. Not only loves, this guy has the audacity to say that he was in love with Liz. Y'all ever seen that movie with the better looking version of me called The Notebook? In that movie, Noah, played by Ryan Gosling, my cousin, was in love with that girl. He built that bitch a whole ass house and waited for her. That's love, y'all, and you guys need to respect yourselves and settle for nothing less. And right now, all the dudes hate me because they're like, damn, Nick, now I gotta build my girl a house. I have $3, bruh.
Even ask me to give a coworker a home.
I did
a ride home
Can
to
you
El
let
Cajon.
me speak?
Ask your boyfriend what I was gonna say. If I would have said no, you would have freaked out. Oh, you're jealous or whatever. But what right do you have to ask me?
What right do you have to get back together with me and go to clubs in Vegas? I haven't given you any shit, Ed. I called you and you don't let me speak. You don't let me speak.
I got a lot of comments on my last video covering this topic of girls voicing their concern for Liz because they have also entered relationships with guys like Ed. And if you find yourself in a similar situation, you need to break up with that dude. I get that it's easy to fall into that mindset of I can fix this person, but some people just suck and you got to cut your losses and bounce. Also, I asked y'all on Instagram how much money you think Ed is paying this new girl to go on dates with him, and you guys had some really funny answers. Make sure you follow me on Instagram because I start drama with the cast on there and we have some really fun group activities we do. Okay, back to Danielle, the other subject of this video. She had to take the back seat for a hot minute because Ed's gossip is just the juiciest. I mean, until me and David Murphy start vlogging our adventures picking up girls in Ukraine, dead set might break the internet. And if I can get my dad Nicolas Cage to join, it would definitely be even crazier. Follow me on TikTok for more stories about my dad Nicolas Cage. I post a lot of them on there.
Right now, let's take a look at the most viral clip of Danielle and her ex Muhammad, and the video is titled, "Why did Muhammad stop having sex with Danielle?"
Was there any intimacy after the wedding at all?
After the wedding,
Yes.
there was, but we started facing a problem. I don't want to say, like, this is very private.
So obviously after a while it is exposed that the problem is in fact Danielle's smell, and that is the problem that Muhammad had with her, which is why he wasn't intimate with her. Now for that being the case though, I do just want to say that Muhammad was very respectful about it at first, and it was actually Danielle that exposed that fact. It was not Muhammad. He said that it's something very personal and private and he didn't want to share and didn't feel comfortable sharing it. So I do find this somewhat of a curious case, and I would love to know your guys' comments below, but I find it strange that the entire segment for Danielle, it's a reoccurring theme that she feels like her ex was toxic and he was mean, and he said that my p*** stank or my vagina stinks and I have a bad smell down there and I don't know how I'm gonna recover from that. It's like, okay, here's the thing though, if your partner says many times that you should wash better down there, or there is a problem and we need to fix it, and you're not fixing that problem, then you're not entitled to have sex with him if he doesn't feel comfortable doing so, and he tells you that there's a problem and you're not taking care of that problem. He's well within his reasons to break up with you or seek a relationship with someone else if you're not sexually compatible because you won't take care of a problem.
Instead of taking care of that problem, she was like fighting with me over it. This is something that no man in the world can accept that.
I feel like every time Muhammad looks at Danielle, it's like he's having a Vietnam flashback. Also, I feel like it's his body and what he wants to do with his body. Just because you're in a relationship with someone doesn't mean that you're entitled to sleep with that person. If someone's not comfortable sleeping with you or they don't have your consent, then you don't have to sleep with that person, and that should be okay. Or for your partner, like, you should try to understand that, or if there's an intimacy issue, you should try to work on that.
She was sitting on the floor, crying, screaming in front of her teenagers, "I want my sex tonight. If you don't give me my sex tonight, I will call the immigration. I will get you deported."
On one end, when you look at Danielle and her struggles to find a relationship and find a partner, you do feel bad for her, but at the same time, you shouldn't threaten your partner with calling immigration because they're not having sex with you. That is also their choice. Now, that being said, do I think that Muhammad's intentions were pure in their relationship? Absolutely not. Is it obvious that the dude was using her for a green card? Yeah, pretty much obvious for everybody with eyeballs. Now that being the case though, for this particular scene, I'm more on Muhammad's side than on Danielle's side.
He has told people that I smell and I peed on him.
Okay, this person here, she has some stuff.
So Danielle outed herself, and then when Muhammad tries to explain the host that should be replaced by Yourwetsock, cuts him off because he's not from the United States, and she does this with literally any foreigner. She always treats the foreigners like they're the problem, they're the toxic one, cuts them off, doesn't let them speak, and we saw that by how she treated Rosemary Vega, who, by the way, was the victim in her relationship with Big Ed. Don't get it twisted for anybody else that thinks differently.
That I don't like. I complained about.
You know what? I don't even want to know.
Then
thank you very much. Thank you very much for.
If you asking me like why I'm not having sex with her, then you put it out there. I have to explain it.
You know, all right. So
I wanted to show you guys that clip because before we dive into Danielle on the single life, it's very important that we watch that clip together as a family because it sets the tone for their entire segment on the single life. It's a reoccurring theme on the single life with Danielle. And this is something that keeps getting brought up. And at this point, I think it's overplayed because it's one of those things to where if your entire segment, you're bringing up that toxic ex, it just seems like it's not interesting. Right now, let's take a look at that suspenseful moment when Danielle and Muhammad meet up face to face to talk things out and hash out their problems in the single life. Muhammad says that seeing Danielle after 3 years is very trippy, and he hopes that she isn't screaming at him or doesn't scream at him during their discussion because he's gonna have none of that. Muhammad is over that. He's moved on, moved past Danielle. He basically is of that mindset to where I'm on to bigger and better things. And I think that Danielle has also become more independent since the breakup. She's done a lot of things in her life that Muhammad always pointed out that she should do.
So, how are you doing?
Good.
How's your driving truck?
It's a nice job. I like it.
And I can see it suits you because you like to travel.
Yeah, I do a lot, a lot.
Yes, I do, a lot. Muhammad just looks like he's bored to be there, to be honest with you. It's not very nice to not live in the moment and not look your former partner in the eye. Like, you should live in the moment, Muhammad. Right now, you're coming across as very arrogant and rude, and I feel like this isn't a good way to portray yourself when you know for a fact that you're gonna be on camera in front of millions of people. I wanna wise up, kid.
I've been going to school for the last 2 years. I've even done summer classes.
Nice.
And then work keeps me busy.
These are the stuff that I was trying to make you do when I was there.
Honestly, Danielle's looking at Muhammad like she would take him back in a heartbeat, and this is not a good approach to have with an ex. Now for Muhammad, you should just be happy that your ex is getting her life in order and everything's going good in her life. I feel like you shouldn't have this mindset to where, oh, you didn't change those things for me, but now I'm not in your life and you're changing those things about yourself. Hey man, you know, that ship already sailed. You gotta move on with your life, and your ex moved on with her life, and now it's just like, hey, maybe you can be cordial, but right now this attitude of just dismissing everything Danielle says. From looking at Muhammad's shady mustache situation, I'm gathering that he just showed up for the free food. I feel like, come on, buddy, you can't be happy for it. We would like to see a Danielle, I'm so happy for you, or good for you, I'm happy you're getting your life in order. It's been 3 years, you guys have already moved past everything. I feel like it's time to bury the hatch. Also, do you guys think I would look good with Muhammad's mustache situation or a handlebar mustache? Let me know in the comments below. When we hit 500K, I will give myself a handlebar mustache, so make sure to subscribe.
I think that I deserve an apology.
Okay, name one thing.
You left me at my lowest. And when you left, wait, and because of you leaving, I've had a hard time trusting men again.
When we first take a look at Danielle in the single life, the scene opens up with her waking up next to her dog Penny. Penny is her life companion, and she also mentions that she is very unlucky in terms of love and finding a significant other, finding a partner. And a lot of cast members on the show always open up with that, like they're very unlucky with love. Here's the thing with that. There's luck, and then there's like, okay, what are you doing that's wrong? We're gonna be focusing on what you're doing that's wrong and correct the mistakes you're making so that you can find a partner and not blame it on being lucky or not. I'll be honest, every time I hear someone say they're lucky, I think of Leafy, because Leafy always said he was lucky, and then YouTube was like, RIP that channel, I'm going in tonight, deleted. When Danielle opens up with her past relationship with Muhammad, she mentions that Muhammad was 24 at the time and they fell in love. I am not really sure that they fell in love. I think it was a one-sided love on Danielle's part. I don't think at any point Muhammad actually loved Danielle. I think he saw her as an opportunity to get a K-1 visa and come over to America. And I don't usually say that. I'm usually on the foreigner's side. But when you look at Muhammad and Danielle side by side, it's just very sus. Like, that's the best way I can put it. It's a sus relationship. Next thing you know, they play that iconic scene when Danielle and Muhammad got married, and Muhammad said that he's not allowed to kiss Danielle because of his religion. Do you smell that, class? Are you getting a whiff of that? It's called bullshit, and that's total bullshit. Nowhere in any religion can you not kiss your woman at a certain time of the month, especially on your wedding day. That's the biggest bullshit thing I've ever heard in my life. You're from Tunisia, he's gonna blame it on what, being Muslim? Yeah, not the case. Throughout the entire relationship between Danielle and Muhammad, it was very obvious to everyone watching and all their family and friends that this relationship was a total sham, except for Danielle because she was blind in love with this younger, good-looking man. Throughout their relationship, Muhammad would rarely, if any, show any interest in Danielle, whether that's physically or emotionally. He would also constantly go on trips with other women, which raised suspicions for Danielle, and she would constantly throw the visa in his face and say things like, I'm gonna get you deported, Muhammad. I'm gonna send you back to Tunisia, because she honestly didn't know how to handle this situation. And I understand that she felt some type of way about that, but at the same time, threatening someone with sending them back is not the best approach. But at the same time, in her defense, Muhammad was very sneaky. He was very calculated. He was definitely using her. I just feel like she was too blind to notice until it was too late. You guys see what I was talking about earlier in the video? From the first episode of the season of The Single Life with Danielle, they are referencing that conversation between her and Muhammad where he said that she has a bad smell.
Those kind of words coming from your spouse.
And you see Danielle breaking down about it. She says something on the lines of, no woman should ever have to hear that from her man. This might be a controversial opinion, but I'm just gonna be honest because I'm always honest with you guys. If my partner smells down there, I'm gonna tell her that she's got SP, and that's short for stinky p***s. And vice versa, if I got stank I would expect my partner to say, yo, your dick stanks. I'm the first one to say that intimacy in the bedroom isn't the most important thing in a relationship. Now, that being the case, it is still an important thing in a relationship. And when your partner isn't willing to clean herself or take care of herself properly, there is no problem with the significant other, in this case Muhammad, voicing his concern about that. Muhammad and Danielle both confirmed that Muhammad brought this up to her many times in private, and even on the tell-all, he was hesitant to voice his concerns about this. We all saw the footage together. Sean, the bias host for TLC, was very insistent that he spills the beans, and he didn't actually spill the beans. He just said that there was a problem. Danielle outed herself, and then after Danielle outed herself, Muhammad then voiced his concerns about the situation and voiced his opinions about the situation. So he actually didn't want to embarrass her, and I feel like he's getting too much heat for the situation because at the end of the day, it is very important to make your partner happy in the bedroom, and he was trying to do so, except for he had a concern. She wasn't washing up, and that's on her at the end of the day. That's not on him. Danielle goes on to say that she feels very isolated in Ohio. Her kids often visit her, but that being the case, she still is trying to, get out there in the dating world. I feel like Danielle's being a bit overdramatic about the situation because she goes on to say that rebounds don't do the trick when you're mourning your spouse. Muhammad did not die, first of all. Second of all, your relationship was not that serious with him. It was an online relationship. You guys shot your shot, went on the show 90 Day Fiance. It didn't work out, and it's like on to the next one. You guys weren't together for that long, and it wasn't that serious. I just feel like she was so incredibly attracted to him because he was a younger, good-looking foreign guy, which is why she's over-romanticizing the situation. We can see from the explosion of flavor on the tell-all and how spicy it was that Danielle and Muhammad ended on bad terms. Now, that being the case, about 8 months ago, Muhammad actually slid back into the DMs. They started texting each other back and forth, and Danielle says that it was a pleasant conversation, but that being the case, she still has her guard up with Muhammad because he really hurt her. Next thing you know, Danielle opens up with us about her 3 friends that live in Maryland. They are 20 years younger than her, and she says that they really bring her out of her shell and they're really fun, but here's the problem. They're tier 3 subs, and what I mean by that is they actually met online. They were fans of the show and they hit up Danielle and she hit them up back, and they developed a friendship that way. I don't know how I feel about this, but at the same time, like, I would hang out with you guys. The Yourwetsock community is strong and we all have great personalities. We're the best community on YouTube, fact. But let me know what you guys think about this. Do you guys think it's weird to hang out with people that know everything about you or have seen you on the show and know more things about you than you know about them, or not?
Hi guys. What's up?
It's been a while since I've seen you.
Yeah.
I miss you.
Me too.
When I hear about something like that, I'm like, what are the motives, Muñaño? You know, because there is a power balance. You don't know if they have ulterior motives, if they're using or want to hang out with Danielle only because she's famous, or they actually like her and they enjoy her company. But if I was Danielle, that question would always be in the back of my head. Next thing you know, Danielle says that her and her girlfriends are planning a trip to Ocean City, and I'm not gonna lie, that sounds like Shell City from SpongeBob. Ocean City, I don't even know where that is. I'm assuming it's in Maryland.
So, Danielle, are you so excited for Ocean City?
I don't know.
What do you think?
A little nervous about it. But I love hanging with you guys and going with you guys places. So I think I'll be game.
Right away, let me know what you guys think about Danielle's hair. I feel like you're going for this Last Samurai look and it's not really doing the trick. I feel like you do need a little bit of a makeover. I would recommend going to a hairstylist and picking out a different style. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. I don't want to sound like I'm like the Zohan and I gotta figure out, listen, I don't. Sometimes I wake up, I look like total dog water, and I look like I sell car insurance right now. And I totally understand that. That's how I look with my hair slicked back, I think. But that being the case, I do think that a fresh look would really do wonders for Danielle.
2 weeks ago, I came back from Maryland for my girls' trip. The point of the trip was to find a love connection, and I met a man named Sonny.
Danielle returned from her girls' trip unsuccessful with love. She mentions that she went on a date with Sonny. For those of you that forgot, Sonny was the tweaker because he just seemed really out of it. He actually seemed like he was high on something the entire date. And Danielle mentioned that she was gonna make him a mixtape, and we were all like, oh my God, early 2000s flashback, right? And this guy was like, yeah, that's totally tubular. I would love a mixtape. Danielle says that after that date, she didn't hear back from Sonny, so it doesn't feel good to be ghosted, but that being the case, in the dating world, you have to have thick skin, so she is moving on. And I totally understand that. It doesn't feel good to get ghosted. I think for some people, they're just afraid of confrontation. So they'll actually just ghost you. And I think that's why. I think that's where that stems from. For me, I like to send a text or something to be like, hey, would love to be friends. I just don't think we're vibing like that. I feel like a quick, we're not vibing, let's be friends is a nice courtesy text to send. And if you do that, hats off to you. If you don't, understandable. Okay, so Danielle's on Tinder. She found this guy named Robert. He seems like a good looking guy, but he's older. So that's good that she's dating around her age.
I signed up for the dating app, and it was almost immediately that I met this new guy named Robert.
I don't know why they keep saying dating app. I guess they're not allowed to say Tinder on TV. But anyway, Danielle's on Tinder, and she was swiping right, and then this guy Robert swiped right, and it was like love at first sight. What can I say? Robert messaged her that he doesn't know why she's having such a hard time finding a dude, which is a pretty classy one-liner. I will keep that in the back of my head and save that one for later, Robert. Seems like Robert's got some game. He's an older dude, so he's around Danielle's age. And for this point, I think that this is smart to date someone around your age when you've had a negative experience with a younger foreign guy. I feel like that's something that Stephanie should learn from.
The first date was really fun. We went out to eat and we just talked the whole time.
Yeah, that's tight. Talking is definitely tight. All about conversations, for real.
We are gonna go axe throwing. That's so much fun. I love axe throwing.
Oh my God, I'm so jealous and excited to see this date. I want to go axe throwing so bad, you guys. I'm a huge fan of the shows Vikings and The Last Kingdom. Like, I love those shows so much, and I just feel like I'd be really good at axe throwing. Speaking of axe throwing, I'd like to take this moment to issue a challenge to Muhammad. If you stand there with an apple on your head and let me throw an axe at the apple, then I'll Venmo you $1,000, but you do have to sign a waiver saying that if I miss and accidentally hit you in the face, it's not my fault and you can't sue me. Danielle's very excited to go on her second date with Robert. She also mentions that he must be really interested because he wouldn't have asked for a second date. Next thing you know, when Robert finally shows up, he actually brings flowers.
Oh, Quimmy, quit.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, how are you?
Good, how you doing?
I'm
These are
good,
for you.
good. Thank you.
Ladies, comment below. This is just, wow, next level. I wouldn't have brought flowers, I'll be honest, but I'm also kind of a dick. What do you know, ladies and gentlemen? And Robert brought her a shot glass from Arizona. He was thinking about her, so he got her a gift off rip. Wow, this guy is a keeper, I'll be honest. I actually really like him so far. I feel like he is too much of a good guy for me, but whatever. I don't know, I'm too toxic to like guys like this.
I'm Robert. I met Danielle online. We were talking and we hit it off. I am actually pretty nervous for this date. I'm excited and nervous at the same time.
Guys, wait a second. Something's happening here. He gives off the same nervous, cringe energy that Danielle does. So, like, I think that they might actually be a good couple together because they seem equally interested in each other. And right away, that's a significant difference from Muhammad because as we've seen, he wasn't interested in Danielle at all. Like, has never been interested in her like that. So right away, I like this guy. He was already thinking about her. He got her flowers and a shot glass from Arizona. Now, that being the case, I wouldn't advise getting a gift for a girl on the second date. I feel like that's a bit too much and you don't want to treat a girl too good. But at the same time, because it's Danielle, I'm like, okay, this is going to work because Danielle seems like an incredibly loyal person.
Danielle seems really into family, and that's the same thing that I'm kind of looking for, someone that believes in family values and wants to better themselves and try to meet the right person.
And he has family values. Is it getting hot in here or is it just me? Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment below what you think about Danielle and her relationships. Let's be friends. Follow me on Twitch and on Instagram right now.